Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. Fear and the mandates. I'm a little more overdressed, I guess. I just got off work and it was chilly outside when I got to the truck. But I'm here in my, I guess will be my new spot, parking lot in front of the Walmart. But I guess I'll start this video off with a little bit of scripture. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And that's Psalm 27:1. And it's actually on the. Let's peel this off. This is on my dash. You read that. I've had it on my dash for a couple years. I got it off of, I think it was a mil-spec monkey is where I got that from. But I thought there's a scene from the Godfather. It was a deleted scene. I like the Godfather movies, but there was a deleted scene in the first movie where the Don and his sons are going to the hospital to see Jenko, who was the Don's consigliere, but he was in his final hours. He was passing away, so the Don went to go see him, and Jenko had said to him, maybe you can you have the you can maybe if death saw your face, he would turn around. He said, you can cure me. You have the power. And Don says, I have no such power. Don't be afraid of death, Jenko. And it was about and that scene. That was pretty good. It was a pretty good scene. I wish it was wish it was left in the original film, but it kind of reminds me of what's going on nowadays with the and not just in the U.S., but with like what's going on in Australia and other countries. It's like all these mandates. Mandates. Um, Everybody has to get the poke, the jab, the shot, the prick, whatever they call it nowadays. And there's just this push to mandate that people get this thing. It's more. It seems. I think it'd be more. I think it'd be far more difficult to have something like that done here in the U.S. Uh, Sadly, it's going on in other places. In other countries. Like I said, I mentioned Australia. I think in France, there's a lot of protests going there. I think the driving force behind the desire to have mandates, and I'm not talking about what's being done through government agencies. They have their own idea, as to why they want these mandates. They want to keep them going because there's a more control that they have. But I think behind the public's desire for people getting the jab, the shot, whatever, and and the mandating that people get these things, also the mask mandates and all that, it's fear. I think it's all fear. Um, and this are my thoughts on it. I don't I come to terms with the fact a long time ago that I'm gonna die. The only thing I hope to do is that I live the good life. I live the righteous life. Following in Jesus Christ's footsteps. I believe that's the highest thing that anyone can aspire to do as far as what they can what you can do in this lifetime. But also just loving others, sharing the things I know, sharing people's sorrows, being there for people. I think those are things that make life worth living. Just having a care for something other than yourself. I think what's the push for all this talk of the push within the public for all these mandates is very, I think it's a very selfish fear. And I think it's pushed by a lot of people who I think in the back of their mind they haven't done they haven't done much with their lives. Um, they don't really think they're coming to terms with the fact that they know death exists, but they don't ever want to acknowledge that it's going to come from them at some point. So they want to get behind all these things that they say, well, if I get the shot, then you know am I gonna still get sick? And I don't want to die. You know, maybe other people should get the shot, and they should be forced to get the, you know, the state should force these people to get the shot so that I be protected. And I was like, no, come on, that's ridiculous. First of all, and yeah, I don't care. You know, as you said, as I said before, I like to say what I want on my channel. If you get if you get this vaccine, why are you worried about other people who doesn't have it? It doesn't make any sense. It's either it works or it doesn't work. You know, but everyone has been, all these people who seem to just been so who seem to be so afraid of death, and it's like, and facing the fact that maybe they haven't done what they should have done. They haven't done anything important with their lives. They haven't done anything remarkable. You know, they haven't actually been selfless. They think they're worried about running out of time to continue on doing the nothings of doing the nothingness of their life. And so, but in order to avoid that, they gotta push other people to fall in line, so that they don't feel alone with not really doing anything remarkable with their time here. I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but it's what basically what I'm saying is, I think the people who are pushing this are people who haven't really, they haven't lived. They're just surviving. They're just focused on surviving. And this is the walking. We're not in the Walking Dead universe. You know, even then, there were instances where people were living. They weren't just surviving. They were living their lives. This thing has got people so shook that they're too afraid to live life. They're too afraid to go out and breathe fresh air. They're too afraid to just talk to people. To figure out, you know, it's like you have a disagreement with somebody. Try to see things from their point of view. It's like, you know, like myself, and I always like that. I like to tie, you know, I like to tie guns and things like this. I understand the arguments that people who support gun control make, and I'm not talking about people in the government. No, again, you know, they have their own nefarious reasons for why. But I mean like just fellow members of the public. You know, people who are just, they're afraid. You know, they're afraid of what could happen if someone who has one does something stupid. I mean, well, reality check is there are the people around you who are constantly doing stupid things. You drive, and I don't understand how you can be on the road with thinking like that. But so many people die in car accidents and just in accidents rather than over intentional gunfire. But I understand that side of their arguments. I understand it's a lot of fear behind it. It's a lot of, you know, a lot of people are afraid of finding themselves in situations where they may be powerless. They have no options, and then they're going to be left, you know, and then they're afraid of their final moments. You know, saying if only I said, you know, if only I told this person I love them, or if only I apologized to this one person. You know, a lot of people don't want to face that. You know, but the thing is, it can happen at any time. You know, whether you catch coronavirus or get hit by a car or your life taken out by, you know, by a bullet, or someone comes up and stab you, or you just fall over, die from a heart attack. You have an aneurysm, things like that. It's death is always around us, and our time will come at some point. My time will come at some point, but until that time occurs, whenever it will be, I got to live my life. I can't live in fear. Now obviously I like to be cautious about things. I'm not going to be, you know, reckless, but I think it's important to figure out what is pushing this fear that you have. Ask someone you know who's really all about this, you know, mandate, you know, test, you know, what was the cases, all this stuff. Ask them, hey, what do you if you were gonna die, they ask them, if you're gonna die tomorrow, what would you do? You know, how would you spend your final days? And that's a question that gets asked a lot, but I think it's a very important one. You know, to figure out what are you lacking in? What have you not accomplished? Instead of worrying about instead of worrying about when death is gonna come for you, live a full life. You know, get to know Jesus, talk to people, figure out ask someone how their day is going, and actually listen to them. Don't make it about yourself. Figure out what think about, have you slighted somebody? Maybe you can go back and make up. Maybe you can talk to them. Try to explain yourself. Try to smooth things over. Those are doing things like that make that's what makes life worth living. Not this whole people need to be pushed. They need to be forced by their government to stay locked up in their house like they're prisoners. Be wear a mask all day, like it's almost like a. I wouldn't say a feed bag, but like a muzzle. Keep people locked up and muzzled. Don't go outside. Be afraid. I don't know. Fuck that. I don't want to be afraid of all this shit. No, I want to live life. I want to do something other than survive. I want to do something other than just breathe. Which even that's an accomplishment for me because of asthma and allergies. I'm thankful. I love being alive. But I want to make sure that I want to make sure I'm living my life in a way in a manner that is actually appropriate, not consumed with fear. Because that's nowhere to live. What you live your life afraid all the time, then nothing happens. And then so much time has gone by, you don't know where to start. You don't know how to actually start living life. You spent so much time going through the motions, just surviving. You forgot what it meant to actually live. Go out and enjoy a cheeseburger. That's what I do. I feel alive. I feel alive when I can just enjoy enjoy a simple thing as a cheeseburger. Or find a cool book. Read it for a bit. I'll just even flip through the pages. Even as it's a picture book, just do something. Other than being stuck in this loop of I gotta be afraid of this. I gotta be afraid of this. I gotta be afraid of this. No, it's not a way to. It's not a good way to live. And the Bible, and it says a lot. Fear not. What is the fear gonna? What is all this fear gonna do? It does nothing. It does nothing positive. And if anything, all constantly being in a state of fear. It's not even in a state of alertness. You're just in a state of fear, constant fear. That's a good way to get trapped up by someone who wants to prey upon you. So it's like always be on the lookout. Be sober and vigilant. But that's all I want to say. That's something I have in my mind. While I was just at work. um, I hope. Please share your thoughts. What do you think? Do you know people like that? If you do, are you able to talk to them? Are you able to reach out to them? I try to talk to many people as I can. Just to kind of soothe them over. To let them know, hey, listen, all this fear, it doesn't have to be this way. There's better. There's a better reason for us still on this earth, other than to just watch the news or be on Twitter all the time. But hey, that's my video. Tell me what you guys think. Please check out my older videos if you're new to the channel and look forward to new videos to come. Like, share, subscribe. Any gripes or complaints, send me a PM. I'll see what what can I do to address them. That's my video. Fear behind the mandates. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care, be safe, stay strapped, and God bless.